too long. Say it out loud, like you really mean it now, 'cause this is the last time. We're at the crossroads, and I can't let it go. I try to make you stay, but you're already far away. We're at the crossroads, and I'll let it go. Now I know this much is true. I won't be running after you. Now I know this much is true. I won't be running after you. We're at the You paint a picture in my mind. You wanna leave it all behind. In a world that's turning all the time, nothing could stop me longing for your eyes. I won't let it die. I can feel you when you're not around. When the night gets cold, I won't be alone. We won't be
Good evening, everyone, and sorry to be interrupting. That song's kind of a banger. Hope everyone's having a good Tuesday evening so far, and that you had a great Labor Day weekend, if that falls under, I guess the U.S. kind of thing. Anyways, no dilly-dallying. Welcome to the continuation of week one. Today's game is going to be Yoplays versus the Coconut Crabs, and I'm going to be joined here tonight with all the Wibs. I will undeafen in just a moment so that he can introduce himself. But before one last thing, just a reminder that our last game for week 1 will be tomorrow at 9 p.m. and it will be the glazed non-human primates versus the Knights. So hope to see you guys then. With that, I'm going to go ahead and undeafen myself. Hello, Wibs.
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad. Welcome. We just pulled Wibs in kind of last minute. He has joined the Blueberry casting crew. Thanks for coming in. Glad to have you. Love your energy. How are you feeling tonight?
Absolutely. I had no idea I was a blueberry. I'm so unexpectedly excited.
Yes, that is what I call my casting crew. They are the Blueberry Squad.
Fantastic. I'm wearing blue pants. I guess that counts. I'll have to wear a
No.
blue shirt. Really get into the feel of things.
Yep, you'll get the hang of it. So welcome. So we have someone with fresh new eyes. We'll get kind of a new person's perspective on this, but we're going to go ahead and get started. I shared with you the drafting link, so if you have that open, the captains...
Absolutely. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, awesome. So the captain should be hitting the ready button in just a moment. So it'll be interesting to kind of get your perspective as they just about roll up here in just a moment. For this match, we have no subs.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So we have Yogurt on floor, who's the captain of Yoplays. Xianamore, who typically will be the ADC. Benjj, I'm assuming, is going to be the jungler?
Support, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
at least in the league, I believe he's playing more support than anything else. But he floats around, you're right.
Gotcha. Love floaters. PlsKllM, not sure where we're going to go. And maybe SweetSmellofSucc possibly going mid.
Cool, yeah. I would think that we'd have Yogurt on floor on mid. Not sure it's going to be a toss-up between top and jungle. I know that PlsKllM definitely plays a lot of both. And wow, look at all of these bands just flying out here.
Yes. So we'll go ahead. Sorry. We'll start talking about the bands here. So we have a Aurelia, Kaisa, and Trundle band on the Coconut Crabs. And Leona, Fizz, and Urgot bands on the Yoplay side. Not surprising, emminik is known for his Fizz. I think we had this tournament, we call it last season 0. He probably was able to play Fizz maybe once, and that's about it. So not surprised that band came through. Looks like that we have a Lucian as an AD carry on the Coconut Crabs. I know there was a little bit of a patch that just came through for him. And looks like maybe a Volibear top.
Yeah, Volibear could definitely, if it's PlsKllM in jungle, I see that we have Trundle banned, so he plays tons of Trundle jungle. And I know that whenever he doesn't have that, he likes to fall back on usually Volibear. Or actually Pantheon. He just likes really strong engaged junglers if he's playing jungle.
Okay. Okay, so we've got Lucian versus the Ashe. Love to see that. I have to keep reminding myself on whose team, because I'm not used to these names and these new teams yet.
Yeah, so it's week 1.
Yes, week 1. Fun fact, if you didn't know, the Coconut Crabs support is the husband of Yoplays AD carry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we'll see some
Are they
fights.
Are they in the same house right now?
Yes, actually.
Like are they sitting next to each other in opposing rooms?
Their setup is like like facing each other.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So we'll see. Let's hope that this doesn't lead to a divorce. They're two great people.
I mean, there's something to be like said. Like I don't know if you've ever been in like a LAN setting. Like I used to do a lot of competitive Halo back in the day. And just like the immediate trash talk of being able to yell at the person just sitting feet in front of you, there's nothing else like it.
Alrighty, so I think we're seeing a Darius top and a Moo.
I think that's a Quinn top then, right? So that's got to be twin, like Darius versus Quinn. So that's going to put Volibear jungle.
Well, I don't know. She could be in the jungle. And actually, I have seen a Mumu support before, because a Mumu also had a little bit of a patch come through as well. His Q is on a much quicker cooldown, so he can
Yeah, no,
bandage twice.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, but with the 2-star, yeah, being able to use it twice is really insane.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't even realize that had come through. I figured that out in an ARAM I was playing a couple days ago. I was like, what is this? I was like, I've been playing a Mumu for 10 years. I have no idea. Was this always here?
No.
Am I out of my mind?
No, just that is super fresh, so you're not going crazy.
Yeah, it was a great quality of life change.
Well, it depends on which side. Okay,
Yeah.
looks like our final 2 bans on the Yoplays side will be a Rise and a Maokai. Rise lately has been pretty good. Okay, so we've got some big mid bands.
Absolutely,
coming
yeah,
up.
big fight going on in mid. I can see at least Yogurt on, like they're assuming Yogurt on 4 is playing mid, because 3 of his best champs are without a doubt Aurelia, Syndra, and Vigar, probably in that order. Vigar, Vigar. Which one do you go with?
I think I'd go with Vigar.
I think canonically it's Vagar, but that's the one I like the least.
I kind of want to see what Google says. Hold on. Please hold. Google
In the ca-
Translator.
Yep. Google Translator for this
Vigar.
made up.
Hold on.
No, I mean
English.
he's been around for League of Legends is the most popular
Alright,
game in
here
the
we
world.
go.
It should appear, right?
Oh wait, I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear it. Actually, you won't be able to hear it because I'm not streaming through Discord. But for the stream, here you go.
Vigar.
Oh, they say Vigar.
They say Vigar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I usually go with, and you know what? Google can't be wrong. It's the Google machine.
Although, what happens if I do Icelandic?
Vigar.
Vigar. Alright. Mildly distracted. Okay, looks like a not. Okay, so that is for sure a Mumu jungle
Yeah,
with a Nautilus
Big
support.
fan.
So, Zanrick loves to be that tanky,
Ooh.
taking the initiative support. So I think that goes great for him. A Yon, good luck.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm curious to see because we haven't picked mid over here yet. What Yogurt on Floor's pick into Yon is going to be.
I still don't. Ari. Honestly,
That's what he said. Go on.
Go ahead. No. I think that's pretty safe.
Yeah, definitely. It's one he's definitely comfortable on. It's not one of his most played champs by a lot. That's definitely just like kind of like digging deep into the pockets right there.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no way he's not comfortable on Ari. He has lots of games logged.
All right, give me a moment. I need to take a screenshot.
Smart.
The pics.
Make sure everybody puts everything back in the right order.
Yes. Where is that? Pick bands, chat. Okay. Lots of paperwork I gotta do, you know? In the meantime, why don't you go ahead and kind of give me your thoughts on purely just looking at it from on paper, the champs that are picked. How do you think it's gonna go early, mid, and late game?
It definitely seems like both of these comps are looking to play it a little late, playing very safe. I think the most aggressive lane we have here is Coconut Crab's bot lane versus Yoplays. Nautilus, Lucian, they're just going to try and play it so that they can get level 2 first, and then probably just try and go in. Yeah, like Nautilus just diving on level 2 is really strong, and Lucian definitely has the early power to back that up. And Ashe and Thresh over here. I do know that Benjj does like to play a pretty aggressive Thresh, so it's just going to be a whole lot of that. I wonder what they're going to do at the beginning with the leash, because I think one team is going to try and get down to late early to try and freeze it, just to guarantee that early level 2. So we'll see.
If you were to be on one of those teams, which one though would you maybe be more?
I got to tell you a little bit more about myself. I am a tanky boy jungler.
Okay.
And I like playing with a lot of thickness, and I got to tell you, the crabs over here, yeah, living up to their namesake, they got a lot of thickness. Like, that's a shell that's tough to crack. Yeah, them more than Yoplays are definitely look to just, like, scale into the late game, just like Darius. Just let Darius get fed, and then you just have, like, Darius and Yon running around doing whatever they want. Like, that's, at least on paper, what it looks like their game plan is.
Okay, thicky boy, I can support that.
Thicky boy.
Tanks that surprisingly do a lot of damage is the new hot thing. or has been the hot thing.
Oh, that's when I like to play League so much. When I get to just like run around and take damage and still be good, still get kills. It's hard to get kills. Like I've played a whole lot of Amumu games over the course of my life where I was like 0-5-20. Yeah, so it's nice to be able to jump in and actually get some gold early.
Sounds good. Oh, and another last thing here, just for anyone watching that's confused, Misfortune Bot is not playing. They are a family, and Misfortune Bot has all of the champions account. So it's actually SweetSmellofSucc that is playing on Misfortune Bot's account, and it's okay. That's fine.
Everything is kosher.
Yes. Let me see what some of the people in chat are saying.
Oh yeah, I guess I can like that too.
Yeah, CCS is 80 heavy. Yeah, that will be a little bit of concern.
I can confirm I am not Tyler Durden's father.
Okay. Oh.
That is a less than true statement.
Good to know. Yoplays draft is good in game 1. Okay. Yeah, I'm excited to see how things pan out. That, I don't know. I think both of them are equally pretty scary on paper.
Like just judging by the UGGs for everybody. The only person I couldn't look at is Nova because he used
Weird
characters that I couldn't figure out how to type. But these players all have pretty deep champion pools. They play a lot of different roles. So like the pick ban phase is going to be interesting in both of these games because it's just they have tons of people they can pull out.
Right, and that's what, especially this being week 1 and being the first game, everyone's within this entire tournament is getting used to what everyone's playing. So this game is really just kind of figuring everyone out. I'm interested to see on how game 2 is going to go and how they're going to move their picket bans.
Mm-hmm.
As they go, oh, okay, that's how they play. Got you.
Yeah, no, it'll certainly be interesting.
So one of the questions that I like to ask my casters, and since you're one of the newer ones, it's okay for me to ask. It's not a bad question or anything like that. What is your birthday dessert choice?
My birthday dessert choice?
Yes, very important.
Oh my god, it's just chocolate cake. The normalest chocolate cake that you can imagine.
No, I support that. Now, is it just like full chocolate cake, like chocolate frosting? With like...
No. So it's very specifically very fluffy chocolate cake. This is just the cake my mother made me for years for my birthday.
Oh, it's so nice of her.
And it's rich chocolate cake, and of course, in the batter you have to use coffee. That's what makes the chocolate flavor really come out.
Oh, all right. Never thought about doing that.
Yeah, there's a pro tip right there for everybody listening. If you want to make your chocolate cakes absolutely divine, add coffee, and then you just get the most delicious, most rich chocolate cake. And then you have to make whipped cream frosting.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, I know a lot of people, they like to put like fruit, like other kind of weird shit. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, just give me this chocolate cake with some pretty normal frosting, and I'm a happy man.
You're going to have to maybe ask your mom to share that recipe.
I'll see if I can get her to dig it up.
Real good. Very simple. Wow. Yeah, I don't.
Yes.
Sometimes.
So clearly, I'm not well versed. How does that rank on the answers? And what is your birthday dessert? I guess this is a very important question.
So, I'm trying to remember what some folks said in the past. For me, I like all kinds of desserts, but I'm a real sucker for cheesecake.
The beauty of the question is there's no wrong answer.
Yeah, right. I'm a huge cheesecake fan.
Oh, see.
Yeah.
One thing you're also going to learn about me is that I despise cheese. We'll get that out of the way early in this relationship. Yeah, because it's a divisive thing.
So funny thing though is like I have Asian background, so we don't have a lot of cheese.
Yeah, I tend to love Asian food because of that.
Yeah, so I grew up not really liking cheese too much. Actually, right now, like if you get like the triple cheese kind of like pizza stuff, I can't take it. Like I start feeling sick. Yeah,
that's weird. Mm-hmm.
But the cheesecake stuff, I don't know. I've grown accustomed to it, I guess. But I would rank your answer pretty high up there.
Nice. All right. Well, looks like we're in game.
Yep, so on the bottom left corner, you'll see an eyeball icon, and there is going to be all of your hot buttons that you're going to want to do. So you'll. Oh.
Well, apparently we're pausing. Also, I've totally never used this before.
No problem.
So, do I just like I can manual this? I can
Yeah,
just do
so
direct to camera?
because your screen is not being shown on the stream, you technically can do anything. I typically leave it on directed camera. That way we're both looking at the same stuff.
Sweet. That's what I was wondering. If my directed camera was the same as your directed camera, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I want.
Yep. And then again, you just want to make sure and check every once in a while that your time control is as up to date. Right now I'm at 26 seconds.
Boom.
You might not be able to fiddle with it right now if the game is...
Yeah, they know. It's 26 seconds.
Okay, great. And then for the objective timers, you just click the objective timers, which is that bottom one, and on the right side it will tell you when Baron, Dragon, Blue, and Red is up, as well as Shelly.
Where did you say the objective timers was?
So eyeball, and then it's the last item. And then once you select it, it will be on the right.
Yep, that's lovely.
Lovely. Other than that, not much going on. So let me see. Benj's keyboard is not working. Love that.
Oh. Yeah, also, I don't know if you have chat on, but I can tell you straight out the gate, PlsKllM's, his E key does not work. He plays with his E bound to 3.
Interesting.
So if there's any conversation going on and everybody's saying him just drop the 3s, that's why.
Oh.
Yeah, he's not big on leet speak. It's just simply where he's at. Just because, we're talking about keyboard issues.
That's funny.
Yeah, we actually had a friend that played League for the longest time on a trackpad.
Oh my god, yeah, I have a friend who would do that.
He got pretty good at it.
Some would say if you play Yumi, all you need is your mouse. If you have 1, 2, and 3 buttons.
Yeah, you could probably play Yumi just smashing your face into the keyboard. Not to talk down any Yumi players. But yeah, I remember back in the day when people used to complain that Soraka was an item. Now, Yumi takes that up just a little bit more. We're all good. Are you all fantastic?
Oh, actually, I didn't realize my overlay is on. Let me just fix that really quick. If I could find the button for it. Where's the button for the overlay? Game overlay. Turn it off.
All right, and we're back.
Nice. All right. Hitting that plus button again.
Oh,
5, 6.
you gotta appreciate it. You gotta throw that cue in that situation. Now they have 3 people standing at attention, and Volibear comes a little too close.
My game froze?
Yeah, my game froze too. Absolutely. That's not a pause, right? It actually comes up that they paused it.
No, it is a freeze. Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're back.
Okay, cool. Technical difficulties right now, but we're getting through it.
Yeah, just to double check, we're still on 55 seconds.
56, 57, 58.
Fantastic. All right, cool. So at least we're synced up. We're talking about the same things. Cool. So it seems like everybody's just standing at attention. Not like we're going to get any kind of crazy invade at this point. So everybody's just going to go back to their leashes.
Yep, playing it safe, going about almost the 5 point whatever.
Boom. We are just going to have, looks like, very normal leashes. Surprise, kind of. The Volibear's not choosing to start red.
Does he normally start red?
Bump. Well, perhaps he does normally start blue. In these kind of like matchups where you're going up against like Tanky Boy. Well, Mumu's actually pathing a little bit differently than I thought he would have. I figured that a Mumu would take just his normal blue, so it looks like he might be just going for a fast clear. So we could see some action down in bot lane.
Yeah, I think the Yon Ari matchup in the beginning is in favor of Ari, so hoping to see maybe some early kills to get Ari that little advantage. Otherwise, I feel like Yon is pretty annoying.
Yeah, and there he is. There's the early level 2, so they're playing as aggressive as possible. It looks like they can probably get this here. Oh, no. Man, that was unexpected. That was a really, really, really good heal. Let's see if Xianamore can find a way
She
to
has
turn
level 2
this.
advantage. He still hasn't hit level 2 yet.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. I guess that's because, what, Nautilus got the kill.
Oh yeah, he did. Oof.
Wow.
Would have loved to see that on the ADC, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
it happens. Oh, okay, but we have Volibear coming in. That's going to hit. Absolutely, yep, so... That's huge. Yeah, that's huge
Wow.
for Volibear to get that early kill.
Yeah, I didn't even notice he was over there, but that was a great response for him. It's like, hey.
Yeah, it was, absolutely. Yeah, that's just good communication.
Definitely, I've definitely seen both of these teams do. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so it was kind of exactly the opposite of what I thought was going to happen. Amumu just went for a full clear, didn't end up going bot. And Volibear was able to take advantage of that.
These two teams I have definitely seen do quite, or at least a lot, special time to do some practicing. So it is showing at least.
Ooh, SweetSmellofSucc got grabbed. Good stuff. Oh. Man, what a grabby team. I hadn't realized until right now how grabby this team was. My word. Mark with a very, very aggressive teleport there. Oh, he can make McWeenBean paid for this.
The minion.
Man, that was close.
No.
And Volibear had it again. You hear the wee woo. Yeah, and Yogurt on floor is coming up right behind him, but yeah, Yone's hot on the trail.
Oh.
See how they decide to play this.
Don't know if they really want to take this fight. Oh, the top back though.
Mm-hmm.
So it might have been okay.
Yeah, at this point, they're just trying to play for a little bit of crowd control here.
Oh. All right. Take a breather. Whew, phew.
Whew, I know, right? I do like the early aggression, though, on both sides. Yeah, blowing early teleports. Wow. Like, I really thought that Quinn could get away there, but yeah, that just, like, that second charge on the Amumu Q, you saw how important that is right there.
I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Amumu in this tournament now that he's definitely gotten that change. I mean, he was never like a non-played champ. He's definitely still something in our last tournament.
Oh, yeah.
But now they've
Yeah,
really made him an issue.
Yeah, it hasn't been very often that Amumu's been one of, like, the top-tier jungle picks, but he's always been a super safe choice. Yeah, just a very comfortable champ for a lot of players.
Cat is under the desk.
Yeah, and I guess bot lane was up getting a deep ward.
I
And
wonder.
they're just shoving in crabs.
Now I know at least Xianamore is typically pings or signals frequently to go for that dragon as soon as it's available. They haven't gone for it quite yet. Understandable, you know, it's just the early game, but I'm interested to see in how that first dragon fight is going to go.
Yeah, you definitely want to have priority. It's like if Yoplays can find a way to get that lane shoved up and get a little bit of aggression, you do know that Volibear is going to want to get that as quickly as possible.
I do see him. Oh, the teleport's coming in from Yon.
Cool, and it just seems like they backed off, just making safe decisions.
Yeah, Ari back so she's not able to respond within a timely manner. Yon. Okay, so looks like Yon is going to back and go back into the mid lane, so that kind of. So now he's got his teleport down for quite some time.
Yeah, are there any teleports left in this game right now?
Quinn has her teleport, so that'll
Okay.
be good for the Yoplays. Darius didn't go teleport, so that puts really good pressure on the dragon. Oh! Nautilus lands a
Oh,
hook.
big dive. Let's see.
Oh my god,
Oh.
that thresh hook into the turret!
It's got to be careful. I think Thresh can probably peel for this. And Volibear's right where he wants to be. Wee woo. Oh, so close. Volibear still picks it up. You love to see the flash Q when it works. There's nothing more exciting. Yeah, potential for a lot of big flash grab plays on both sides in this match.
Yeah. The question right now for bot lane is who's got the better hook.
The Thresh, I mean, I love Nautilus. I probably play Nautilus more than any other support. But the Thresh hook is my favorite hook, without a doubt. Yeah, it's like just being able to like get up, get right on whoever you grabbed, get that flay, like you can just like CC forever. Bump bump, and first dragon going to the Yoplays, as it should have. When you get that early jungle pressure, that's going to give you, a long way in just getting early objectives as well.
Oh!
Wow, that was a super aggressive ult. They kind of paid for it there.
Oh no!
Yep, big time. Let's see.
I don't know.
I mean, he's gonna die this, absolutely.
Guys.
Yeah, he's level 6. That's huge right here. Like, that's absolutely gonna be the reason he's able to get away from that easily. Yeah, if Amumu's level 6, then, maybe Zanrick gets there in enough time that they can just put enough CC on the Volibear to kill him.
That was a really good, bold play by the Ashe and the Thresh to kind of catch that Lucian while he was just by himself. But I think after that Ashe ult didn't quite hit that they should have backed off with. I think they did try to do that.
Oh yeah, like I said, whenever Ben's on support, he likes to go for the aggressive plays. Yes, I have no doubt. No doubt the communication was there. But yeah, it felt like a 50-50. Yeah, it came down to tower shots, I think.
Well, turret. That's the 6th teammate, especially in the early game.
No, absolutely.
So I always
only the
get
tower shots
nervous.
get credit for assists. You'd
Yeah.
love to see it at the end. You'd love to see the tower shot assists at the end of the match.
I always get so nervous in the early game when we try to do something so close to the tower. Gotta be careful. Have to really use that calculator.
Yeah, SweetSmellofSucc.
Oh!
Well, we got the wee woos coming out. See if they can force a fight somewhere in here in jungle. They're playing for big crab control. The Rift Herald, the biggest crab there is. And everybody's just all over the place. Like, look at lanes. Okay, so we got Quinn back in lane at least.
Ooh, fancy. Big, huge cajones.
No, and I mean, it's cool. It's cool to see in the very first match here.
Nice dodge
Just
by
like-
Ari. She's making it hard for the Nautilus to hook her.
Very good flash, yep.
Wow, huge brains.
The biggest. That's what you expect out of your team captains.
Oh no, that's a lot of pressure. Don't say that.
Wow, and
Good.
oh, that was a good ult.
Oh! That Ashe from the bot lane lands. Not quite enough to.
Yeah, just not enough
death.
CC left. I blew it all pretty early, just making sure that everybody stayed alive after the first engage. It was an awesome arrow. Absolutely awesome arrow, but everybody was just a little too spent to make anything happen there.
Yeah. Darius coming down to strut his muscles to kind of get them to back off a little bit. And I think the red team is just gonna go ahead and reset and say, oh, that was a good try. No deaths. But
That after 12 minutes, all still pretty close. Yeah, only what 600 gold difference, so not very much at all. And that's really just the first
so
objective.
Far
Really,
is a pretty fair and even game. No,
Yeah, none of the
no big
matchups.
oopsies yet.
yeah. Biggest difference right now is there's just I'd say jungle. Yeah, Volibear just feels way ahead just because of some really early successful ganks.
The dragon is coming up in 23 seconds, and again, Darius doesn't have teleport, so Quinn is able to kind of give that pressure when they are trying to go for that dragon. But looks like everyone is getting prepped and ready, and
That was good.
That lantern is
We'll see if they have enough to make it happen. Yogurt is coming in. He hits the charm. Yone's gonna get pulled back right here. Looked like Yogurt wanted to go in, but everybody just kind of decided to pull back. Not sure if they have vision behind the pit. Yeah, Yogurt's just trying to disengage here, buy some time. Good stuff.
Alright, red team gets the second dragon.
We're playing for Mountain Soul.
Huge objective plays going on Yoplays.
Bum. Who's that? Bum. Looking at the difference in our bot lanes here. Where do we have Nautilus? There he is. So just talking about how close we were now we have a pretty different gold margin. That quickly jumped from about 500 to 2,000 difference with that second dragon.
Oh my dang. Did you see that play in the mid lane?
I'm floating around all over the place, and no, I didn't see. I do see Yogurt about half health, and same thing on Yone, both just backed.
Yeah, the Aura was able to land her charm right underneath the turret range, and enough, I guess he did enough for the tower to go aggro on him. So as he was going back to his whatever it's called, turret still spit out a little thing doing a little damage to him. So that was pretty cool.
Pretty cool indeed.
Oh
All
my
right, so it
gosh.
looks like top is trying to make a play.
Yeah, it looks like they're looking at possibly getting Shelly, if that's what it's called. But look at that vision that the red team is putting on the top side. That whole river is lit.
Yeah. Bum. Okay. Is that a fun thing that I can see? Let me see. Can I see the vision difference?
So you can see the score on the scoreboard. You'll see that Nautilus has a vision score of 23. That's not a surprise.
There it is.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Zanrick is commonly known for having very, very high vision score. So I'm actually excited to see what it'll end up being, because as much as it's just a vision score, it's pretty important in the game.
No, absolutely.
Of Legends.
Like to see, like almost everybody on Yoplays has just about exactly the same vision score. Yeah, so everybody's pulling their weight. Yeah, and that's important. That's what like lends your team to like getting those successful early ganks.
They're coming in. They are able to get a kill on the ADC, and that went to... Who did that go to? I think that went to the Thrush. Benjj, also commonly known as the support kill stealer.
Yeah, a little bit of that going on in this game. Yeah, definitely Benjj more than Nautilus. Big battle going on here. Yeah, DrMcWeenBean picks up a kill on his laner.
Beautiful flash to get away from the hook.
And they're just getting chased right out. Yeah, McWeenBean is huge.
What was that?
Yeah, Benjj lands that hook, and then he's like, I don't actually know that we want this.
great response time. I didn't even see when that Nautilus got into that, but definitely very important in that fight. That allowed Coconut Crabs to get the Shelly.
Yeah, and that was important for them. Yeah, they haven't had the biggest objective game. So definitely being able to pick up something.
Yep, and that'll put
from the
pressure
Yoplays
on
is-
top. But looks like Thresh is also coming in to get some plays for Quinn. Not sure if he'll be able to quite get out there to
No, this looks pretty good. Yep, and moving away, making sure he doesn't get known as the kill stealer in this game. He does just move away and say, "You got this, Quinn. I trust you." Looks like we have a Mumu looking for something mid here.
Oof.
Oh, he does land it.
Oh my god!
Wow. Heads up, yeah, heads up all
This
out of Nova
Lucian
there.
has the pew pew. Nova, I watched, I think, one of his scrims. Has very good ADC, is all I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, are we just all hanging like this has just become an ARAM, this game?
It's the fight
We're-
for the dragon. It is 15 seconds to the third dragon. That is pretty big for the red team, right? Because then if they can get that third dragon, then they have a lot of pressure for that fourth one, for that soul. And sometimes either you just give up that fourth one and say, hey, you can have your first dragon and we'll go get Baron. Hookland
Oh, wow, looks like we started this fight whether we wanted to or not. And it looks like, although they're still behind by a pretty decent margin here, Crabs are they feel like they're firmly in the driver's seat over the course of the past few minutes of this game.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a slight miscommunication on Yoplays, and while the Queen was able, or is able to put pressure on the top lane, she didn't have teleport, so she couldn't really respond to the dragon. And I think just Yoplays was just positioned well enough for that.
Mm-hmm. Matt and Crabs do pick up their first dragon there, so they were just playing for 4 Mountain Souls the whole time.
Sorry, I'm getting messages on the side, just in case
Bump up,
something
perfectly
wrong
fine.
is going with the stream. Hopefully not. Alright, looks like they're really wanting to defend their mid tower. Yeah, Yoplays does have a little bit of the tower advantage right now.
Yeah, and they've definitely pushed that. Still just pressing their like general map, like they've had good map control just about the entirety of this match so far. And just pressing that, like they're starting, and I think it's just because the carries are just a little smaller. Like that Darius is influencing a lot of the fights. That whoever's can sneak over into a side lane, in this case it's been Quinn,
Oof,
and just pushing up those towers.
that Ashe damage though.
Yeah, and they're not small, not by any means, and they still have the healthy gold advantage.
So from your perspective, maybe if you were on the Coconut Crabs team, what are you looking to do right now?
I'm looking at, like, just judging by the way the last couple fights, I'm looking to force more fights.
Okay.
Like they basically need to find a way to get a tower down and then press that advantage. They haven't had priority in literally any lane so far in this game. They need to start being able to push something up, just to get Yoplays to spread out a little more, get them to answer them for a change, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, the Yoplays are still dictating the flow of the map.
And
Yeah, it looks like Volibear is. See, this is the other big thing. Yeah, like chasing down Eon is hard, but yeah, you need a Mumu, to be able to like dictate the flow of where somebody can go. Yeah, like a Mumu needs to be waiting in the wings with those wonderful bandage tosses, instead of Volibear running out of the weeds wherever, to try and jump. Yeah, it's a big jungle swing here, and it looks like. Oh no, Mumu, you gotta check that bush, my friend!
great ult though.
He was able to turn that, though. Let's see how big Volibear is. He's
Volibear's
big.
huge.
He's big.
Not only is he big in bear size, but also in just he's murdered a few people.
So it still went 1 for 1 there. Really looked like it was just gonna be a Mumu just going down before Yona even had a chance to do anything. But like a Mumu, like I said, he's a thick boy.
Yeah, that pressure though on the top lane that Quinn is able to put is really just kind of forcing Darius to just always be there and not really be able to help the rest of the team out. So I guess that's a really good call. I didn't think Darius and Quinn lane would go that way. But I don't play top. A little while.
And neither do I. It's the one. I play a lot of champions that could play top lane. Like, a lot of people I could flex into it. Like, Maokai is absolutely one of my favorite picks in both jungle and support.
Oh!
But, no. Oh boy. Ashe showing just how big she actually is. Right there. And now we just have huge pressure from Yoplays in mid. It looks like Yone is getting the memo. Or maybe not. No, he just backtracked a little bit. So Amumu goes down here. And we're just going to press these towers.
I need like a Benjj hook. Okay. Maybe we don't start the Benjj hook counter. Not yet.
I say this is, like I said, this is exactly what crabs don't want. Because now they're kind of spreading themselves out
Yeah, I think they need
against two forces that are just shoving down towers.
Oh.
Quinn gets caught out a little bit there, but it looks like it's not too much of a price to pay. Dragon is coming up.
Yeah, I think at this point I would like to see the coconut crabs.
That was an interesting play. That was great. Just popping out there to make sure the Nautilus can't take the flower in. Getting a little split up in this fight. It's a little weird.
I think this is a fight the coconut crabs want, though. Ashes. Oh, good dodge with the hook. Oh my God. Okay. Yep.
The volley bear. Yep.
Xianamore did not get her title without doing just that. She's a great ADC. That was really good positioning and good dodging on her end. Definitely, if she got that Amumu Q, I don't think that fight would have gone quite as much as in their favor. Maybe.
Yeah, and we're just going to go straight for the Baron right after it. Which is the smart play.
Huge,
Yeah, still only...
big brain play.
Wow, and that's actually going down really quickly with just the three of them there.
Well, you've got the Quinn and an Ashe, no problem. I think that fight was really close. I think just a little bit better coordination and communication on the coconut crab side. I think that could have gone a little bit more in their favor. It was really close though. So
yeah, it did seem like there was a moment where crabs, like once everybody kind of split up, you ended up with all of the tanks on one side of pit, and then all the damage in the middle, and Amumu was able to pick up that kill, and then everybody ended up in the river, and the crabs were just a little too taxed from the fight.
I think a pivotal port on the Yoplay side is protect Ashe. If you can protect her, which is exactly kind of what happened in that last fight, you'll be Gucci.
Yep, strong, engage, and just put a bubble around your carry. That's what they've been doing, and that's been working for them. Just let Volley Bear run in with the wee woo.
However, though, if you're not careful enough, that Darius is just going to run straight at her, or the Yon's going to get that knockout for his, I think it's his ult. She might be a little bit toasted, but I don't know.
Yeah, and right now, what Yoplays are just doing a little bit better than the crabs, at least in this game, is moving together. Like, good coordination of just who they're putting with each other. And just applying pressure wherever they can.
Oh, nice try.
That charm was huge. Volibear is going to be able to run this down.
Good follow-up, and actually they took a moment to finish that turret, so that actually destroyed it and stopped Yone's teleport to it.
Yeah, and that
So
is one heck of a
now-
wave down and bottom.
Yeah, now he's down an entire teleport. Good charm, not waiting for him to go back to his thing quite yet. We're looking to do an alt. They are focusing on the Ari because she's the damage there right now. I'm not sure if that Ash arrow hit, but I'm going to assume so.
Nautilus, good job getting away.
Oh,
Does look as that'll be this inhib.
toughie. This looks like a tough situation.
Yeah, the Baron buff is just too much right here.
Yeah. And the gold difference is now at 13k.
Yeah, it's like you can look at this Volibear's 4 levels up over this Nautilus. It is just like the support, but it's like Volibear is just standing in the middle of 3 of them.
Okay.
Oh, but he has to get out. Yep,
Hold
the
on.
DrMcWeenBean.
Oh, wait, well, hold on. Expeke. SweetSmellofSucc. That. Okay, I'm going to assume that he finished
we
the
we froze at the end,
Expeke.
but I'm assuming that's it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
First game. It's going to go to Yoplays.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice. Alright, well. Sorry that froze. For those watching. But we're going to go
No
ahead.
fireworks today, everybody. We apologize.
Okay, this always happens. Happened yesterday. Hopefully
I have the horrifying sound. Yeah, it's just frozen on the sound of a Mumu crying.
Oh, yeah. Alright, well, looks like the first game is going to go to Yoplays. So we're going to go ahead and take a 10-minute break, I believe. Or maybe 5. Let me ask the captains really quick. But wow, what an intense game. It felt so fair and even for the longest time ever, and then somehow they're on the base.
Yeah, it was really just the last 5 minutes of that game where it turned. It was that third dragon fight that was really kind of the catalyst into just like bringing about, you know, we went from third dragon straight to Baron, and then, you know, within like the time we had Baron buff, the game was over.
Okay, yeah, really taking advantage of that Baron buff. That, yeah. Really good call out there. So we're going to reconvene for game 2 at 9:55. So Wibbs, if you want to take a bathroom break, maybe get a beverage, and I'll see you back at 9:55.
Yep, sounds great.
All right.
Mother, I don't know if I'll call you when I'm there, but I can promise you that I will call you when I'm scared. I will call you when I'm scared. Father, I don't know if we needed all those fights, 'cause looking back it kinda feels like you were always right, despite your heavy head. Lately, we're 20-something crazies, and every day we're lazy. We drink a little much, yeah, we think we're all grown up, but we'll call you when we're scared. But we'll call you when we're scared. You can call us when you're scared. Mother, I don't know if I'll call you when I'm there, but I can promise you that I will call you when I'm scared. I will call you when I'm scared. Lately, we're 20-something crazies, and every day we're lazy. We drink a little much, yeah, we think we're all grown up, but we'll call you when we're scared. Lately, weekends get too hazy. We laugh a little much, yeah, we think we're all grown up. You can call us when you're scared. Oh, it's not far away from us, not far away from us. There's something better for us. Oh, it's not far away from us. Look for the moon and cross your heart. There's something better for us. There's something better for Oh, it's not far away from us, not far away from us. There's something better for Oh, it's not far away from us. Look for the moon and cross your heart. There's something better for
Alrighty, folks, we are back for game 2 for week 1 of the Wombo eSports match of Yoplays versus Coconut Crabs. Oh my gosh, they've already started the drafting, so I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to go and undeafen myself. Hello, Wibbs, are you there?
What's up?
Okay, they have already started the drafting for game 2, so
Holy crap.
yes. Time's a clicking. We got things to do, places to be, people to see, and kill.
Well, definitely. At least that volley bear in the last game, he had a lot of people to see. He had a lot of people to kill, and he made good on those promises.
Right. So going into game 2, we're going to see the same bands that Yoplays is going to put through, which is Urgot, Fizz, and Leona. Makes sense to me. They're going to keep with that Aurelion Trundle band, but now they're going to get Ashe out of that picture because she was quite the problem from the last game.
Honestly, a little bit surprised to see the Trundle ban over the Volibear ban. I guess they're just like, that was a fluke.
So,
And once again, there's the insta-lock of the Volibear.
I'm not entirely sure because I'm not familiar, but I think maybe they're just... oh god, who's their jungler on the Yoplays?
That's Bear. We'll just call him Bear. He's the Bear now.
Yeah, Bear probably maybe have a good record with the Trundle, so even though Volibear may have been a little bit of an issue, Trundle maybe be a little bit more fearful.
I mean, if they're afraid of the Trundle, Trundle is definitely a champion to be feared, but I wouldn't want to play against that Volibear 2 games in a row.
Well, you only have so many bans in the first 3, so you gotta pick them, right? We're going to see action for the first time ever in this tournament. New champ came out. He swings. He brings people back to life. Not entirely sure what else he does, but I know he is mildly terrifying. So happy to see him be played in this tournament for the first time. And looks like we're hovering over a Jinx ADC. Good pick. She's really, really annoying in the late game. Can get strong early game if done right. So excited to see how that goes. Maokai, I'm not sure if that is a top or a support Maokai, but Lulu, big fan. Big fan.
Lulu is absolutely one of my favorite champs. I also know it's one of Ben's favorite champs, so this is definitely going to be a sweet spot champ for him.
Well,
Maokai, I know, is a favorite for Dorski. I'm not sure anybody else on the team that plays it, so I wonder if that's even being flexed into jungle.
I don't know. How is Maokai in the jungle lately?
I like Maokai jungle.
Back that up, though. We have a Rammus.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I think we'll want
so
that
Rammus is
Rammus.
very clearly going to be jungle. I've seen Rammus's top. I've seen Rammus's support even. But I don't think there's any reason to believe that we have something that crazy going on, especially whenever you're playing on the back foot,
I mean, Maokai support is annoying. You put those little duders in the bush, you gotta stay
Absolutely.
away from that. Otherwise,
Yeah,
that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, there's something to be said about absolute bush control. He's also, I mean, whenever you do it right, that's a super fast leash. You don't really have to do anything. You just literally load the bush up with 3 of your guys and walk away, and you don't even have to leash for your jungler.
So I'm interested to see how the bot lane is gonna go. I am of the Lulu maining people, so I'm just trying to think through of how I would feel fighting up against a Auction and Maokai, and it could go right, but he does get a little bit tanky, does get a little bit all up in your face, especially when you have a Rammus. Can get a little bit tough, so I'm hoping that Volibear can kind of give a little bit of that advantage early game for the bot lane, but we'll see.
And do we think this Akshan is bot, or do we think it's mid?
Oh.
Yeah, I was assuming that the Akshan would be mid. I'm pretty sure we haven't seen their bot pick yet.
I don't know. Nova's kind of one of those weird folks.
The champion's still so new. I've seen Akshan played literally everywhere except for support, I suppose, but just like in that lane.
With that Orianna, I'm pretty sure he is going bot now.
Yep, that definitely locks it in.
Yeah, because we saw a Jax and a Yon ban come through, so it seems like Yoplays really didn't like having to worry about that Yon, so they said just get that out of there for now. And classic bans, same with the Veigar and the Syndra ban against Yogur, so makes sense. Interested. Oh, okay.
Nasus, so get the Susan.
If I understand correctly, I know Yogurt has talked about how the Syndra and Orianna matchup goes, and I think it goes in favor for Syndra, maybe, if that's what he said. Not sure.
I think it's the other way around, which is why I think we're seeing Twisted Fate come out of Yogurt on the floor here.
Well, I forgot who it was, but yesterday somebody was expecting someone to play Twisted Fate mid, I think it was maybe Elemental Lux. So here you go. You've got your Twisted Fate, who will be playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Oh, absolutely. It'll be fun to see. Just by the way that the last game went, with everybody just going everywhere all the time, like literally after the first 5 minutes, it was you can go wherever you want. That worked for them. Twisted Fate plays into that very well.
All right, and with that, we have our champs for the last game for tonight. We're going to go ahead and switch over to the client, and I am going to put this down for record. So, as per usual in the last game, what are your thoughts, just on paper, of the team comps?
It's strange how sort of similar the game looks, just because we have enough people from the previous game in this one. It does look like, as soon as they get the things back up, I'm trying to remember who the different picks are.
No, you're fine. It will be loaded in the picks and bans in just a few seconds. It's a pretty big file. So just give it a moment, and you should be able to see it now.
I'm sorry, what did you say that was?
You're fine.
Picks bands!
Yes.
Fantastic. There we go. Alright, cool. Looking back at it. Probably won't see as much aggression in bot lane, I don't think. It depends on, that's going to be, once again, largely dictated by the junglers. Like, if Volibear wants to come in early, the Yoplays are going to play around that. It's like they're going to be listening to the jungler. It definitely seems like he knows what he's doing on that champion. So if they want to go in, they'll go in. But just the nature of that matchup, I think that they're probably going to hold back and just try to poke like it's a super pokey comp. It's like, it seems across the board so that it's just going to be like way less aggression, like Twisted Fate Orianna. Like Twisted Fate has to be careful, or he's definitely capable of blowing him up early if he catches himself out of position. And Susan into, I guess that's Darius. Yeah, Susan into Darius. They're both just like standing around and smacking minions and occasionally smacking each other.
It's just, I don't know. Are you at, what role do you play in League typically?
Oh, I'm typically jungle, and
Okay.
I play a lot of support as well.
Okay. Because I have no insight whatsoever on how top lane champs are against each other, so I have no idea how Nasus and Darius are going to go, and it's kind of maybe it could be you being a jungle and having to.
Yeah, and you can just kind of like look at the last game. Both top laners are just trying to stand around and get fed as much as possible and just not die. Like, I think that Quinn finished with only like 2 deaths, and the Darius didn't have many more if he had any at all. And they both just had the most farm in the game on either side of their team. And they're just trying to like scale as hard as they can in the late game and just like blow things up.
Okay.
That's what a top laner wants to do. The exception to that rule is if Volibear over here is playing top, he likes to play split pushers. In which case, he doesn't care at all what's happening in top lane. He'll go 0-5. He's just trying to knock down all the towers. That's not what's happening in this match. If that is, I mean, Nasus has the advantage there, because Nasus can do that almost as well. So Nasus is just trying to farm his Q and blow people up late game, and just try and push in his lane as far as he can. Just let his team, do the rest.
Okay. What about mid lane?
Mid lane, like I said, Twisted Fate. It seems like this pick is based off of the way that the last game went. And he's just going to be looking to coordinate and just try and get down into, bot lane. Most likely, you can definitely see some coordinated ganks in top, and just look for, good opportunities for using his ult to just, force a lane basically. Get a good gank and just like win on tower advantage. That's basically exactly what they did. It seemed like that was their game plan in the last game. No reason to believe they're not doing the exact same thing here.
Okay. And now that we've had the first game and kind of got a feel for how both of their team or their style is and how they kind of respond, what do you think Yoplays needs to either continue to do or change up a little bit? And same thing for the coconut crabs.
Yoplays can definitely find a path to victory just by keeping keeping the crabs off balance. Crabs, they got a lot of legs. They should have pretty good balance, but in that last one, they just, they kept finding themselves on the odd end. So if they can continue to just like keep pressure in lanes, just from like roaming, And, you know, Twisted Fate's just as good as roaming. Like, he doesn't need to teleport in order to roam. He just pushes lane up and just get running through the river. And the crabs just need to combat that. They need to just, like, hold steady. They need to watch being aggressive if they're overly aggressive. And they find themselves in a bad situation. Like, they were pushed up a whole lot in bot lane, at least in the last game, and Bolly Bear made them pay for that. So they're just going to want to, you know, play for the late game. Yeah, it's like we were trying to decide who was playing for the late game in the previous one, and it was definitely the crabs because, you know, as soon as we got past 15 minutes, like, Yoplays were just off to the races. Yeah, so they're definitely trying to accrue as much cash as they can and just get the game over with. Yeah, so look for probably, I think, a slower game going on here.
Right.
Unless Yoplays are feeling pretty chuffed after that last one. I know a bunch of those guys, and they do like to try and invade if they can. So we'll see if they try to make a play for that. And if not, then I think we're just going to have a slower game until the first dragon.
Love to hear it. So being that you're kind of new to the tournament so far, how are you feeling?
Oh no, this is cool. Like I said, one thing I don't know is how many teams are in the league.
So there are 6 teams total. So we have 3 games or matches. I should say matches. 3 matches per week. Each match is 2 games.
So what happens in the event of that both of them win? If it's just
so it's based off of points.
Oh, it's just points. Okay.
Yeah.
And then how are the points decided then?
So by week, I believe 7, based off of how many games you've won, will determine kind of like the next formatting and whatnot. I don't have it right off the top of my head.
Oh, sure.
1 second.
Yeah, I guess it's like a boxing match, right? You get the wins by knockout, but I guess like if the match ends up being a split, it's just like based on like performance metrics to some degree. Yeah, like objectives and other things.
I'm not great at explaining. It's like conference hybrid. I don't know if that means anything to you.
It doesn't. I'm sure I'll get the write-up later, and then we'll figure it out. All right, so let's see.
Visual.
Everybody on Yoplays is at least pinging to standard attention. Yeah, so it doesn't seem like they're just running it down for the invade. On the other hand, we do have crabs up here, all stashed in one bush, but maybe it looks like they're just kind of picking and choosing, running around together in case one of them finds one person by themselves. You gotta love that Maokai skin. You know, Maokai, that's top-notch stuff.
Top tier.
Yeah, kitties and bushes. Also, the newest skin, Astronaut Maokai. Don't know if you've seen it, but the little aliens in the bushes.
Yes, I have.
Riot. Take my money.
That's how we know what the winning team is, based off of this.
Based off Skinergy.
Love
Always a quality metric. I hope that factors into the scoring.
That would require a lot of analytics that we don't have currently supported. But if you would like to support us moving forward, we are only on the second game of week 1.
Oh, cool. So this isn't the first game of the week. What was the previous?
Our very first game for the tournament was yesterday at 9 p.m. It was the Night Owls versus NA Rams, and it went 2-0 in NA Rams' favor.
Cool.
You
So we'll
can
see who's...
Watch the VOD on our Twitch and YouTube.
There we go. Now I'll have to check that out myself, and we'll see after this match who's going to be meeting them in the next round.
Actually, we have it scheduled out already.
Boom, there we go. You can check that out. This is where we insert like the name of the website to check that, but I don't know that information.
It's in the works. Small group of friends putting it together. We're slowly getting there, building it up. But yeah, we do have.
Yep. So once again, we have the early level 2, but we do have the gank coming in from Rammus. See, this is what you needed to see, and they timed that out perfectly. That was big ups on Dorski. Like, they knew exactly what was going to happen based on the last game. They knew we were going to go super aggressive as soon as they got that early 2 and Rammus was ready for them. That was a super great play.
Would you say that's chef's kiss?
Mwah. Mwah.
Uh-oh.
Nope. And after that, Ben rage quit.
No. Just a slight DC. I wonder how much that was actually part of First Blood. I was not paying
That's true.
attention to the Lulu movement.
Wow. Ben's game crashed. Yeah, so is there a time stamp on that in the thing?
Not too far from the pause.
Wow. I hadn't even considered that because that was like so after that, but yeah, I don't know what the timing is for those kind of things.
So 2:26, about 20 seconds ago. So I would believe it if that impacted on the First Blood.
Yeah, definitely an unfortunate situation if that's what happened. Yeah, but can't deny Rammus was in a good spot for that.
Oh my god. A lot of damage coming out of Axon just being level 2. My game.
Yep, same.
My game.
Give it a sec. There we go. Yep. Doesn't seem to last for very long, with the exception of the N1.
Always happens.
And we have
once in the
McWeenBean
beginning.
going for some good trade underneath the tower, spacing himself out well. Oh! Super good flash out of Maokai. Yep. Yep, and I guess I kind of have to take back everything I said about bottom lane trying to play a little bit more passive. Looks like we do have some early retaliation here coming from the bear. Let's see if he's able to run him down. Darius is just a little too fast. Yeah, Ghost is a heck of a summoner spell on Darius.
I think the bot lane is a little bit in a tough spot.
Definitely.
That DC, I think, kind of really threw them off a little bit. And also, I just think Akshan and Maokai have the true, really good early game, so not much.
Yeah, like you don't usually see super aggressive plays, but that like flash W out of Maokai was really, really good. Yeah, Akshan being able to follow that up. He can like the champion is amazing in how much distance he can cover in such a small frame of time whenever he just hits those hook shots right. And we have Volibear coming back up again. Darius meat is back on the menu. We get the stun. Let's see if Sweet's got the flash, but Darius is still just too fast.
That lifesteal, though, I don't know how Darius works, but that's a lot of lifesteal. Even
Absolutely,
just at level 4 with just a blade. Hello?
Yeah, it's a... Man. Like, 2 unsuccessful ganks in top lane right there, and like 2 very deep 2v1 situations is a little disheartening for the Yoplays. Now, Volibear's going to have to try and find some better real estate, and it looks like he found it in Oriana. Let's see if he can find a way to get over there. But now he's just going to go past. Let's see what bot lane can do to, get their bearings back on this lane. Much different story.
Oh.
In this one, at 5 minutes, we have a pretty significant
Rammus
gold
is coming in
advantage.
and they don't know. They don't know. Oh, so
and there it is,
CC.
man. Just so much distance. We do have a teleport coming down, but it might be too little too late. Yeah, Twisted Fate's just going to have to do... Oh, that was a really great yellow card from him.
I'm not sure if that was the best call, though, to come down.
No, yeah, it was definitely aggressive, but like I said, that is like he picked Twisted Fate. That's what he wants to be doing.
Oof. Huge advantage now on the bot lane with 3 kills at just about the 6-minute mark in the game. And they're looking to get that first dragon. Glad to see that Coconut Crab's mental wasn't stricken too hard by that first game loss. Love to see it come back.
I know, yeah, it's just like that little break. Someone said, let's come out swinging, and they did, and it shows. Yeah, we got the Yoplays. There must have been some yogurt on the floor because they are sliding down the scope.
Oh my god. Oh, where's my barf bag? I'm kidding.
But just very different story. We have the first dragon going to the crabs. Yeah, and the Yoplays just find themselves pretty far behind.
We're getting some good Or not too much, but look at that. There's a ward up in the enemy jungle. Darius going in, taking Volibear's, whatever it's called. Toad.
The Gromp!
Ah, but it got spelled.
Yeah. Volibear does get there in time to get the smite off and make sure he secures that, but... Yeah, whenever Darius has absolute lane priority right now, so he can run around and do whatever he wants, so he doesn't have to worry about losing farm.
Yeah, if anything, he just has to make sure that he kind of stops the dog from farming.
Yeah, let's check out stacks count over here.
So I think
Up to
he's
96 on Nasus at 7
I'm
minutes.
seeing 166. I don't know if
Stacks?
that's how you do it.
On Nasus?
Yay, if I did that right. Right? You like hover over the Q?
No, you just click on the boy and look at his siphoning strike. It says his current bonus damage is 102.
I see 192.
Ba-ba-da-ba.
Am I
That's
down?
strange. I mean, if he has that many at this point, Nasus is going to be a problem. But it looks like we've caught Zanrick out a little bit here. This could go pretty well, and I mean, they need something. Yeah, they need something to break their way, and yeah, that plant is able to save Maokai. Tree gets some help from his, lovely little friends in the ground.
Oh, that's the damage. How can I tell what his stacks are?
I just click on Nasus, and then look at what he has.
I'm clicking.
Let's click his little picture. It says 114 for siphoning strike.
Oh, this thingy. Okay. I
There
see.
it is. Yeah, you can also see he's energized currently. He's feeling great.
It's like The Sims. Alright. We're all chilling. We're just vibing right now. We're zen.
Yeah, we definitely have successfully slowed the pace down a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, which is the game that Yoplay needs to play at the moment.
Right. And
Volibear is trying to get in position, but Maokai does have a sapling there to stop him.
looks like Benjj is taking the hit for it so that Maokai can come on and hopefully get that shutdown money.
Yeah, Maokai's there.
Bot lane on the blue side.
Hits the
does
tree, that's
not
good. Let's
have-
make sure they can take. Ugh.
Bot lane doesn't have their ult right now, so they can't finish off that that death attempt on Maokai. But good try. That forces Akshan to use his one pot that he had.
Yeah, and you just got to get something out of them. Like, they got flashes out of them. That's something.
Oh! emminik coming
Oh,
in
that's a
with the
lot of damage out of that
Really
Ori.
trying
Let's see
for
if he can
Kid
get
Hito.
out.
Oh! Oh!
Good stun. That might be enough.
Trade.
And it is. Yep, heads up play from Yogurt on Florida to switch to yellow and try to make that work. Yeah, but that Orianna, that damage early, whew.
That was a really good foreshadowing. Gold card. He had an inkling that Orianna was going to try and dive it for that turret. Letting him... I told you! 6th champ on the team. Tower. Don't.
Items are pretty comparable in mid lane. Ori rather, is up a pretty significant amount of farm on the counterpart.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, keeping it pretty close in top lane, keeping it real close down in bot lane with a slight advantage going to the Jinx.
So, for Nasus, again, I don't know how he works, but 174 at almost 11 minutes. How is that?
Bump it up. I think that's a little low. I think the rule of thumb is you want to be 200 at 10 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, I can tell you that Tyler Durden, if he's still in the chat, 100% knows this. He plays a lot of Nasus.
Okay, we're looking at a scuffle in the river top lane.
See what they can do here. He overjumps a little bit, but it doesn't really matter.
The Jinx ult coming down from the bot lane. Once more, Xianamore is able to snipe something from the bottom.
Ah. I can see we're dealing with someone who really enjoys global alts, and they should. They're very proficient with them. Yep, Yogurt, knowing he has a little bit of assistance playing up.
Rammus coming on in. They can possibly dive it if they're... Okay, yeah, this is a little bit...
That makes a lot more sense, yeah. I would say that would be a pretty aggressive dive, even with all of them there.
Oh.
But just getting this gold from Crab is definitely a good play.
Yeah, Monkai taking quite a bit of damage from the tower. However, if the Jinx stays by herself for a little bit... Oh, yeah, he stopped his back. Lulu is not back, so if Jinx doesn't think that they're still there, she could come out a little bit more. Nope, she's itching. She's a little itchy.
Okay, cool.
Okay, we are looking and hovering over possibly the second dragon. Yoplays has gotten it pretty warded.
Rammus is backing, so if Volibear finds the way to make a play here. No, if he has the vision. Well, actually, Rammus didn't end up backing. Looks like they're all just, like, trying to concentrate. Okay, cool. I guess someone called out, basically, Dragon's up. We should probably be trying to do something about that. And they're just trying to force mid, get a little bit of priority there, and then make a play for Dragon.
Up Darius sacrificing a little bit of his time at the top lane, coming on over to help secure that second dragon for them. Now we're seeing Coconut Crabs being a little bit more on top of the objectives, whereas Yoplays was a little bit more on top of it last time. Looks like they're just gonna give it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Volibear's in the fountain. No way they're gonna be able to make a push for this dragon.
A little bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
It is just the second dragon, but I'm going to think in the next one, Yoplays is really going to want to start trying to get...
Man, Darius picking up 3 very gracious tower shots right there. And blowing Ghost, so he wants to make this play. Surprising amount of damage out of Sweet Smell. Let's see.
A little bit.
Oh,
surprise!
this is so close. So Q's back up.
Oh!
There it is. Yep.
Oh, no.
That was basically the play. They're not going to end up being able to get away from it, but yeah, just stalling for the Q there was definitely the right play. Yeah, heads up on Orianna for getting up there, or else that would have been a crazy turnaround. Yeah, but it ends up just being a 1-for-1. Bot lane here. We got 4 people in bot, so we're just trying to get a lot of pressure. See if we can do something with this tower, so that we can get bot lane elsewhere.
TF landed a really
Yeah,
nice...
they have all the pushing power right here. And no one else on the enemy team able to be found. And yeah, they're just going to get this tower easily. It's a good turnaround. Still about 1k gold back, but that's not nearly as, bad as it was looking early whenever they were down by a pretty significant margin.
And the pings for the third dragon is coming up. Oh no, for the Rift Herald, sorry.
Yeah, for the Rift Herald, I was about to say. I was like, already? I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself.
It's blowing these dragons on cooldown.
Looks like both teams are really going to go for that, so we might see a scuffle happen over Shelly.
Nah.
I think that's her name.
King Crab, Mr. Crab, I call him, as he's the biggest
the
crab.
coconut
He's
crabs.
the Scotto
Have to go
crabs.
get their crabs.
It's in the name. They
Darius
signed a
just
contract.
Walking on, and he doesn't care about the tower. Jinx all just...
Oh! Let's see if yet. Oh! Okay, well, there's Volibear. And he comes in. Let's see if he can make a play here for this Ori. He absolutely can. Did he blow his stun? I think he did. Oh, no, there. Oh, no, that was yellow card.
Really good turnaround by the Yoplays.
Yeah, so they're finding themselves just exactly where they need to be. Yeah, just lots of good calls for just people to come in.
Oh.
Almost everybody gets snagged by that Maokai. Let's see. So the thing about Akshan is absolutely huge in the early game. And as the game goes, he doesn't get any more tanky. It's like if you can find a way to like just get around him and burst him down, he's not that big of a threat. Akshan, he's best whenever he can like come in just like off of a roam. And now all of a sudden, we have Yoplay firmly in the driver's seat. They wiped the yogurt off of the floor, and they climbed up that mountain, and they're sitting right on top of it.
They made a really good play during that fight. I think it was TF almost died from Action's ult, but they body blocked. This combination of the Jinx and the Lulu body blocking for TF. So really either happy accident or really good team communication.
Yeah, at least I don't know the crabs. Yeah, the people on Yoplay, like 3 of them play together just about almost every single night. So these guys know their playstyles. They know exactly what's going on. So yeah, so whenever they're in a fight, they can feel each other out, and that goes a long way. Like you don't necessarily need communication whenever you're just like used to like playing with someone and you know what they're gonna do.
So looks like we got a little bit of a team getting caught out with
Yeah, definitely.
all 4
Yeah,
or 5 members.
spent a little too much time. Yeah, all 5 were able to find their way into jungle and just punches one.
We're talking about, or we talked about vision a little bit as we're loading in. Just look at that top part of the jungle. Oh my gosh, very well lit up. And again, Zanrick having that highest vision score, so good on him.
Oh yeah, Maokai's been all over the place on this map. Yeah, just making sure that there's good vision.
Okay, now Dragon is coming up in 15 seconds. I really feel Yoplays really wants to try and get this one. Otherwise, that 4th... Okay, let's talk. Oh, but they know they're there.
They know they're there, yeah. They're trying to murder Butch, so this is great.
Oh, they know that they know you're there.
Yeah, curious play out of Ben, because it seemed like they were just like playing for that. They think we're gonna fall for the murder Butch trick. Just Ben was like, nah, let's just poke them. Just let them know we're there. Let's try to see if we can get them to spread out.
So we do have a Nasus top lane. His teleport is down, so that's a little bit of a tough situation. I think, yep, this dragon is gonna go to the coconut crabs, and the next dragon will be a hot one that Yoplays will want to fight for. Otherwise, that will be 4th dragon, aka Soul.
Yeah, it did seem a little curious not to try and force a fight there. I guess like the communication was just, Sweet's pushing top. Let's just try and buy him as much time as possible. So just like play the dragon passive. It's not Soul. Yeah, they are very close, but you can just get 4 ocean drakes, and that's, it's a plan.
Oh! Good Uri ult, but that Lulu
Excellent
saves
stun.
him.
Yeah. Yeah, Akshan probably would have gotten away there if it wasn't for the yellow card, not a Twisted Fate.
Now I have a lot of respect for people that play TF because he doesn't feel the most easiest. Or like
It's an above average amount of paying attention to like when you're pushing buttons than the average champ.
Nasus stack. Take a look as they're in a fight. 372.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they necessarily want this. They're just trying to push these people out of the jungle. Boom, boom, boom. Did I turn my... Oh, that's right, because I rejoined. I got to turn my objective timers back on. Beautiful.
Just make sure we're still in sync.
Yeah, so we do have...
Oof. So we're still 7-7 gold advantage. Probably about 2k. Not too bad. However, Coconut Crabs does have 3 dragons. So like I said, the next 3 minutes, that 4th dragon's gonna be a hot contender. Else, Coconut Crabs maybe just want to give them that one and go for Baron. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. This kind of goes to show how like much staying poised early, can do for a game. It feels like we're watching 2 different games. At 5 minutes, it was 0-4 in favor of the Crabs heavily, and Crabs were able to just kind of, stick to their game and find good opportunities to like push back in. And now we're looking at something that's basically even, not on the tower side of things. And I think that's really, what it comes down to is that Nasus was able to just get his stacks and farm away just like he wanted to, and just push things down. Yeah, so now that Nasus is just going to stick in top probably the rest of the game, and there's always going to be someone that needs to answer them.
Thought of though that's kind of mildly scary is if you have that Darius with that Orianna fall on her, he just runs in with that Maokai ult. If he can get a good walk in, then we can get a pretty good wombo combo with Darius. Grabbing down the
definitely.
Arya ult.
Yeah, exactly. If Darius and Ori can find a way to just like pick somebody off, like they can do it better than anybody else. Like Orionna's burst and Darius, yeah, both of their burst. Yeah, I haven't seen an opportunity for Darius to dunk yet. Yeah, but once Darius starts getting those, you know, he's going to start scaling very quickly.
Getting caught out. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Bear
down.
Bears live in the woods, but he did not feel very at home there.
God, I hate his swing.
Rammus has enough to get this, I think. Nope.
They're spending.
Yeah, heads up flash, but I don't know that's going to mean too much. There's just entirely too many of them there.
Nasus is going to try to at least take one of them down with him, but they are spending. Oh.
Well, the help has arrived. Wow, the cavalry. He did end up going down, but
Not entirely all of the cavalry. I'm kind of curious to see if Jinx maybe had followed that, if she'd be able to maybe take a couple more down. That was a good Jinx ult. It did hit. I don't know. I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like that Jinx.
yeah, and they had good vision. So they saw that Rammus backing, so the call was immediately go to Dragon, so they are rushing their way over there. At least they should be. It looked like that's what they were going to do, but wow.
Alright, everyone is heading running over to that dragon. This is gonna be.
And this is the big one. Yep, they having Ocean Soul is huge.
Cut the Arena out. She's got that zone. He has to buy her some more time.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if TF can
So,
get
yep,
out of this one.
super clutch. Yeah, super clutch Zonias is just going to lead to an early deficit here on the Yoplays side. Darius is probably a little too thick to go down here. They need to find a way to get into that pit and break this up, or we're going to be looking at Dragon Soul for crabs here in a moment.
Okay, they have wrapped around the side. Just a little bit. Maokai.
Really small, yeah, really smart Maokai. Oh, and that's going to secure that dragon.
Dragon Soul at 24 minutes goes to the coconut crabs.
Yep, and that's just going to go a long way, and these team fights just keeping crabs up. They definitely still have, you know, tons of damage potential in their comp Yoplays. So, you know, if they're smart and they coordinate, they can burst people down. That Soul's not going to mean everything, but it is going to be tough battles here.
Okay, looks like they are interested in Baron just a little bit. Starting to kind of clear out some of that vision that this has down.
Hey, it's a smart play. They saw how well it worked for Yoplays in the previous game. You know, just like keep the pressure on those objectives. Still, we're playing a very strange game where we have a 25-minute Dragon Soul and one team has no towers down.
Oh yeah, I just noticed that.
Yeah, it's very, very strange.
Oh, she's saving this one. Okay, so Coconut Crabs has the dragging advantage, which is good. Having Soul is good, but they, like you just brought up, they are down in towers. Nasus has been putting pressure on that top. Almost actually got the top tower with Shelly. TF looking to try and do the same thing on the bot lane. But I'm not.
No.
Oh, let's say this right here.
Oh, Maokai found himself in a situation he probably didn't really want to be in.
No, but I think this is working for them. This is working.
We have
for
a
them.
double teleport coming in right next to each other. Good stun. All right, that's big.
Huge Jinx all coming on in.
Yeah,
One
this
more
Nasus
sec.
can absolutely blow her up. And all of a sudden, we have Yoplay back in the driver's seat. Yep, those are 2 really huge kills. And now they can use this to push an objective. Yeah, they're going to try and get vision set up and just try and burn this Baron down as quickly as possible.
Really good
Darius
response.
is actually backing, which bodes really well for them.
Ramus is coming in right about the corner. Can he
They have
steal
enough
it?
damage that I don't think it's going to matter.
Can he steal it? He doesn't have vision on.
It's just not even yet. Yep.
Oh. Tough.
So now they can use this. The fact that they have all of these towers down is huge now that they have Baron buff.
So is the play now for all of them just to kind of group
Oh,
together
they're just- yeah.
and push the lane, or do they keep with the splitting of, I don't know, 1-3-1? The only
With Baron buff, like it looks like Susan's going down bot lane, and we'll see how they decide to pair off to push the rest of the lanes. But they're just trying to get down as many towers as they can.
Yeah, I mean, my only concern is with the 1-3-1. I'm not really sure Jinx and Lulu can confidently just keep putting that pressure in mid, because the Maokai, Ramus, I don't know, I just feel like Jinx and Lulu can't quite respond that well. I don't know. Does that make sense?
They've almost like past however like I guess past 20 minutes they've almost exclusively just been in middle lane, while everybody else has been just running around the entirety, and kind of what got Yoplays back into this is just the enemy team trying to crash on mid and kill Lulu and Jinx, and it's just not going well for them. We have DrMcWeenBean coming up here, gets a good grab on Yogurt on the floor and throws a ton of damage. Those Baron minions are actually doing a lot for him, but he's just too fast. That was look at that! She just doesn't miss.
I mean, Darius doesn't care. He's kind of tanky, but like, still,
Hey, he's
it
Darius,
hit.
but he just doesn't miss.
Do we start
at
having
this point,
a sniper counter for Xianamore?
I don't know, man. I gotta check and see if those are skill shots or point and clicks. Cause man, just making them look way too easy in this
Oh,
match.
if he was low enough, that would have been lit. Litty spitty.
I got this pushed up on bot. It looks like those minions could take out that tower. Susan will get there in time, I think, to, keep. It's gonna be close. No, they got it.
So no matter
Gotta keep that record clean for as long as possible. We're looking at 30 minutes, where crabs have not gotten down a tower.
and no matter how much I play this game, I believe Elder Dragon is the one that makes them go hua. Where if they're 25% health and lower.
Oh, absolutely.
This
yeah, so that's
would be
really big.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know what happened in this game that we have so much objective, we have so much map pressure and objective control from Yoplays, but they just haven't been able to just fight in river. When they get into river is their kryptonite.
I mean, I think part of it has been because they were trying to do that split push and not having the teleport timing correctly or anything like that. Maybe that's where they kind of fell through, but this is an Elder Dragon, so they're not going to take any
positioning has
chances.
been in their fault, so it seems like we at least have them all standing next to each other. We have
I'm not sure if you want to do that though with an Orianna.
well, definitely not. Yeah, that comes down to vision. As long as we know where that Ori is, it's not going to be too much of a problem. But this Maokai hitting,
Tiff hitting in the back end.
Maokai hitting all of them next to each other, and then
Yeah.
Ori comes in, that would be a problem.
They're trying to get maybe a quick kill on the Maokai, catching it out. Oh my!
Yeah, there it is. It looked like we had some trouble deciding who we wanted to fight. On the side, and then
Was that
Akshan getting his teammates up, and that is going to be Dragon Soul, Elder Dragon Soul.
was that a 5-man Ori? Oh, hold on.
If it wasn't, it was dang close.
We're gonna do a quick replay of that. I've never replayed on here before. I'm just gonna move it back just a little bit. We know that they got Elder Dragon. Just a little bit more.
Yep. And that was just the fault of communication on the Yoplay side. There was half of them split over toward blue buff fighting Maokai, half of them trying to pressure toward Bush, and it kind of just like half fell back into River, and that
It was
Maokai
a
ult is what ended up
5-man.
wrecking them.
Oh my god, yep. So Rammus came in with the ball, and that was enough to...
And at 31:57, we have our first tower for the Crabs, who are now firmly back in the driver's seat with this Elder buff.
Oh my god. That was quick.
What a-
quick.
Wow, what a crazy back and forth game this has been.
Game 2 always happens. You take that first game, you learn your enemy just a little bit more, especially since this is week 1, and you adapt. And Coconut Crabs surely has shown them that they have adapted from the first game.
And now, pressing that advantage, Coconut Crabs get to spread out a little bit, get to take a breather, and get to work on pushing down some towers of their own. Yeah, it seems like there's a bit of an identity crisis now on Yoplays' side. It looks like Susan has fallen back to top to just try and get that going again. And do we have some coordination here coming through jungle? Now, it doesn't look like Volibear's going for the pinch. Looks like everybody's kind of decided to fall back. Volibear maybe didn't get the memo, though.
I think we're now like really starting to see a little bit of the cracking coming into the Yoplays, but I really hope that they can kind of regroup and kind of...
Yeah, the important thing here is that they notice Oriana's in bot. This is a fight they can absolutely take. Just because they don't have that extra burst and that extra CC on the side of the Crabs.
I'm not quite sure though because they've got that Elder Dragon, so I'm feeling... Oh! Nice Sonias. You have to be really careful with hitting that below 25%, otherwise you're gone.
You do explode. We'll see how much Baron can help them along with that.
Oriana does have that teleport as well, so she's there now.
Yep. Yeah, Maokai just uses his ult to zone a little bit, make sure Volibear can't get in there and pressure, but Volibear will probably just try and do something if he can, but comes down a little too quick. And now we're dealing with Outer Soul,
Ball is
Ocean
on
Soul,
Rammus.
and Baron buff on the side of the Crabs.
Yep. Crabs they're stacked. Right now, I don't think you want to fight them. I think you want to wait out that Elder Dragon, wait out that Baron, hopefully, and then maybe try for it as well, unless you truly can catch someone out real quick.
Yeah. And Crabs are doing a good job of making sure that exact scenario doesn't play out. Yeah, they've been like walking around in little groups. The only person I've seen by themselves has been Ori, actually. And she has more than enough power to basically take on anybody. 1v1 on the Crabs. Yeah, sitting at a comfortable 276 farm. Fairly close to full build here.
TF looking a little bit on the scary side, hoping to catch out the action. Maokai is slowly making his way up to kind of help him out. I think they know that Maokai's just around the corner, so they're just gonna give that up. So far, Coconut Crabs doing a great job of taking advantage of all the buffs that they have.
Yeah,
on
just
them.
everything that they earned well.
Just push every lane.
Yep. And pretty soon here, it seems like we're going to have more towers on the side of the Crabs, and Manifest Destiny will have occurred. I mean, this is definitely a favorable 1v1 situation that Nasus wants to find themselves in. But they do have help from Akshan.
Not really a 1v1 anymore.
We'll see
Whoa,
exactly
okay.
how. Yeah, Nasus is huge. We'll see exactly how big Nasus
Oh,
is
he's
here.
getting under that. Okay. TF
Yep.
coming in. Gets a gold card on the Oriana.
That is great. I mean, they could easily wait this out. Nasus,
Oh.
I think, still has more than enough juice. Excellent polymorph. Yep, you get turned into a cupcake, and all of a sudden you don't win that battle.
I think Lulu was close to getting to that 25%. Is that not... Do they not Hua right now?
They don't have. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Elder has fallen off at this point.
Oh. Oh, mood.
Yeah, so now we're just dealing with Baron. Yeah. So that was also, a really integral part of that fight is that the Elder had fallen off, so.
Well, it is back up in 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds, yep.
Jeesh. For
Yeah.
being how
And
stuck that they are, Yoplays has been doing a good job of answering that, or handling it. I think right now they're just trying to catch up in levels and farm. The Volibear is level 15, so he is one level behind the Rammus, so we'll like to see him catch up a little bit so his Smite can do equally the same.
Yeah. And just having, they've demonstrated Crabs have demonstrated such good pit control in this game.
Yep.
They're always there to clean, they're always first to pit. Yeah, they have their timers down. Everybody's paying attention.
Not exactly sure if that's
Whoa.
where the Jinx wants to be without her protection.
Yeah, it was good trades for what it's worth. This is a much better position for them to be in than they've typically found themselves in whenever it comes to fighting around pit. Well, let's see if it can last. No Baron buff anymore either, so lanes are just kind of dead even.
Okay, I'm gonna hide this so that we can see fully what's going on.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to whoever can find a pick in this. And Darius is being really sneaky, and he's coming from behind. That means he's not there for the fight, so let's see. Maokai goes down first. We do have Volibear all over Akshan, taking him out of the fight. And Nasus is just doing the things that he wants to be doing, but Akshan is able to find a way to kill the Volibear. Still, tons of damage just coming out of that Susan.
What is going on?
God, this fight is so long.
I'm not...
Wow, look at them staying up. Man.
Okay.
That fight was wild.
A lot happened. A lot of being split up occurred. I think it was Volibear that had the TF, the Orianna and the Akshan occupied for a moment. Oh, I don't know. It's a tough situation. They've got three. Oh my God! Wait, no, three pretty tanky people on the other team. One doing a lot of damage, and one that's just okay. Yeah, there's the Hua.
Nah. It was a good try on the part of Jinx to try and go for the steal, but just too much power on the side of the Crabs. Yeah. Yoplays need to find a way to get a fight. They just haven't been able to get picks, like you were saying. Just everybody on their side's too tanky. It's they were able to get that Maokai down first, but just the difference in just damage components is whenever Crabs decides to focus somebody, they die. And there's definitely just way more coordination going on in fights on that side than there's on the side of the Yoplays in this game.
I think right now it's... Well, it always has to be Operation Peel for that Jinx. You gotta make sure that she can stay in the back line and slowly pick away at their tanks.
Yeah, and along this game goes, I definitely do think Crabs have the better scaling comp here. Yeah, and it's like I said, their path to victory is finding a way to get Akshan down and just take that damage, take all of that quick res, and all the other nonsense that Champ does out of the equation as quickly as possible. And Akshan's just done a really great job of sticking out of the main conflict and coming in at the end to just, kill people when they're low.
And this is the second Baron to go to the Coconut Crabs. I believe the first Baron went over to Yoplays, and then the following two going over to the Coconut Crabs. Again, now, let me just check real quick how many buffs they have on them. They've got Elder Dragon, they've got Baron, they've got their Soul. Okay, now we are back to that point where you don't really want to fight them right now.
Yeah, and to give a credit to Yoplays, they've been fighting against Ocean Soul, they've been fighting against Baron buff, and they've been fighting against two Elders, And they're only down by 2 kills. Like, they've been very smart on what fights they're going to take after, you know, the windfalls of these buffs. And they've been playing a very safe game where they're still, you know, only down 5 towers. They're even on towers, even though, you know, their counterpart is just so far ahead on map control and objectives.
Yep, and they are making a valiant effort of at least trying to get whatever lanes they can get pushed out. We're seeing TF kind of go out there. Nasus was trying to push bot a little bit, so trying to maintain that pressure onto their base is really good there. But right now, I mean, honestly, if I was on the coconut crab side, I would just group and push some lane. You have
Yeah, they're
they're
definitely doing fine shoving down this mid lane right now. They're doing what I think they should be doing. Darius probably should be in a side lane. He's just kind of like running through the jungle.
I don't know, though, like, he doesn't have teleport, and I feel like his presence would put a lot more pressure onto Yoplays if he was actually grouped with them.
But Yoplays finding a way to at least things back to parity here in mid. Kind of feels like they want this, to be honest with you. It feels like they're kind of posturing to try and make something happen here.
I think so. Jinx has one more spot to build an item out, and I'm thinking I'm going to stop right there.
Rammus with the ult coming in. Wow, that was so much damage on that volley bear. Yeah. Excellent polymorph to get the disengage on the
Okay,
Rammus.
this is what I was
Yeah, but now
talking about.
mid tower is a buffet.
Yeah, you've got all
And-
5 members marching down like with Baron. Really good call by the coconut crabs. Darius just doesn't care.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
he doesn't really
McWeenBean
care.
is just as big in this game as he was in the last one. He hasn't found as many opportunities to get in and just like showcase that damage, but he has it. He's going to showcase a little bit of it here. Yep, there's the dunk.
Oh my god, Jinx!
Oh,
Jinx, take it out!
you hate to see it.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's anything Yoplays can do here. Anybody coming up, the only person that's up, never mind. There's the ace. Volley Bear's going to come up, but it's going to be too little too late. Game 2 goes to the crabs. Wow, that was a wild one.
Okay, and the game decides not to show us the ending screen this time around, but we can.
I got the ending screen on mine.
What?
Yep, I got fireworks.
I want fireworks.
I get to hit the continue button. It's the little things.
Alrighty, so what a game. Oh my gosh, 44 minutes. That will be the game for week 1 for Yoplays versus Coconut Crabs. We ended on a 1-1. Love to see it. I think this is what we were talking about in the early game. Using that first game for teams to kind of get a feel for what they're doing. Coconut Crabs using that to their advantage to adjust accordingly. So we're going to go ahead and start seeing if the teams will join us for interviews. In the meantime, while we get into the post-game interviews, if anyone in chat has any questions for the team, feel free to drop it in chat and we will do our best to answer them or ask them. In the meantime, feel free to come in for interviews if you want.
Yep, who are we going to get in first? Whoa, that's so many people.
Yeah. Yep. So typically, we like to primarily have the captains lead the conversations. But if you have any specific questions for, when we're not forcing people to join, so not everyone's going to be joining. But if you have a specific question that anyone in here, feel free to ask them as well. I can just do the muting on my end. But we'll go ahead and get started. So, Wibs, do you have any specific question that you have for the first game? Or maybe what we can do is have the captains or whoever's in charge of the pick and bans kind of talk.
I think for the first game, definitely talk to Mark. See what their game plan was going into that one, because that was like this game. The second game was super back and forth. That first one was, pretty heavily in favor of the Yoplays the entire time.
Okay. So, Mark, if you want to go, or Yogurt. Oh, wait, is he in here?
Oh, man, we asked for Mark.
He's
and Mark
not.
is
I'm so
the
sorry, he
only
had to
one
go.
not in here.
Okay. Who is his replacement then?
We do
Benj
have-
and I can cover for him.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have Ben's
Great.
hand.
So, if you guys don't remember, you can go ahead and look at the Pick and Bans chat. But if you guys can kind of just talk through us of what your thoughts are in your pick and ban process for the first game.
Yeah. So I think in both we recognize the Urgot is huge. Never ever let Doc have that, ever. Fizz, also huge. My boy emminik played it a lot and plays it a lot, although he has diversified significantly, and I'm also terrified of other things that he has, but Fizz is a big one for us. And then Leona, I mean, Zanrick just plays that on a whole nother level, and I don't want that kind of CC and tank in my game. So those are our first 3 picks, and then the second round was more targeting, whoever was left. And in terms of picks, getting our jungler early was a great thing that we were looking forward to. And then moving on to ADC and then others subsequently. So, I was pretty excited about our first round and our second round. Benjj, anybody else? Thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I
mean,
think
we were able to
Ben.
get the we were kind of afforded the counter, like the kind of double counter pick in the solo lanes in game 1. Because of the early top lane lock, we were just able to grab the Quinn into the Darius, and then obviously in the second pick phase, we were able to get a favorable mid matchup, and so yeah, we just got generic utility elsewhere, and we're able to play around that.
Okay. Wib, sounds like you had an additional comment or question.
But no, I was just saying. I think that the pick ban in the first round for you guys incredibly strong. Yeah, like you just said, Ben. Yeah, just like getting the double counter in the lanes, like you guys were able to push those early, push those effectively, and yeah, that's just like definitely something that led to success in that first one.
Alrighty, then same question for emminik. If you can just talk us through your team's thoughts as to you were doing your pick and bans for the first game.
Yeah, we felt comfortable blinding top because we were expecting the Nasus or something similar. So the Quinn was definitely a zesty spice that caught us off a little. That was a really great pick, you guys. So when we saw it the second game, we were like, okay, cool. That this kind of is what we wanted. And then first game, it's the first game of the season. Everybody's getting nerves or jitters or whatever. I just wanted to make sure that we had as much comfort across the table as possible in the first game. So that was kind of my priority going into that one. And we felt good about blinding top. Got slapped for it, so learned our lesson there. But for the most part, I think we didn't change anything ban wise going from game 1 to game 2. So we had a good strat. I think we just needed a little bit of better execution in game 1, which we pulled out, and then definitely got surprised with 1 or 2 things in the draft game 1 for sure.
Okay. I don't have any particular questions for the first game, so it doesn't look like as well in chat. Whips, do you have any additional questions for game 1? Otherwise, we'll move on to game 2.
Yeah, like I said, game 1 was just kind of pretty solid across the board. In both games, I wouldn't mind talking to the junglers either, because both games were kind of very dictated early by jungle pressure. Yeah,
Amen, brother.
Both of those coming down in bot lane.
Yeah, that level 2 volley cheese. Let's go.
Yeah.
That was
Same to the Rammus cheese, my dude.
Yeah, the Rammus. That was so unbelievably perfect timing. That's another thing. Yeah, we didn't get to touch on that. Is that shortly right after? I wasn't sure if that was a factor in what happened. I mean, that Rammus is perfect
that was brilliant.
positioning.
Well, we didn't call the gank until we saw volley, and then we called it.
But Ben, were you still in the game whenever Rammus came in, or were you out before that happened?
So I placed the ward. So I was expecting Rammus to come in. I placed the ward. I saw him, and then that was it.
That was it. He saw the Rammus.
So I tried scaling W so I could polymorph because I was level 2 and I hadn't skilled it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a really good gank. So I'm not actually sure if I get out of it anyways.
He was definitely just perfect.
I will say if I'm able to get polymorph off on Rammus, so Rammus doesn't. Well, actually, I don't exactly know what happened, but I'm assuming Rammus hit me and then they killed me, queued into me or whatever. But maybe if I'm able to polymorph that, I don't know. It was still just a really good gank. So I don't know if it changes too much even if I'm there.
Yeah, and game one was very much like watching it like a story of just like who could exert the most pressure on the map. People were moving around everywhere. Yeah, it's like we had a volley bear that was 8-0-4 in the first game on Yoplays. So it was just like it was very like everyone goes where they pleases. For game two, there was that early gank from Rammus, and then things kind of slowed down a whole lot. You guys got a whole lot of pressure in other lanes over that. And the game sat at, I think, 0 kills to 4 kills in favor of Craps for a long time. So just like, was your game plan just, all right, sweet, we got this, and let's just like ride the pressure that we have? Because like the craziest thing in game two was that you guys didn't have any crabs. The crabs didn't have any towers down. I think it like 30 minutes into the game, but you had all of these dragons.
Yes. I would say that was our strength in both games, was really just this beautiful split, especially by Sweets and man, the rotation from both Sweets and also from Yogurt were really good. But when it came to the team fight and the setup around dragons, we struggled there quite a bit. So, you know, we'll know that for next time. You guys did really well with those team fights, especially that one with that big Oriole where we just all
I had to
whooshed.
replay that. I replayed that.
Yep.
That was
the
excellent.
Maokai ult into the Oriole was clutch.
I think that's my first 5-man ever. Not gonna
Let's
lie.
freaking go!
Yep.
Achievement unlocked.
Yeah, right.
So kind of taking it back again. So going into game two, I know we kind of briefly already touched upon this, but just wanting to pick your brains just a little bit more. Yoplays, you finished game one, came out with a win. Kind of talk through your pick and bans again. You're feeling good. If you want to just talk through it, especially with that auction coming out, like what are your guys' thought process?
I think so. The bans were pretty similar. We took away the Yone and can't remember the other one. In terms of picks, I suspected that Nova might play Akshan at some point. I just have not played into it bot lane, and with the Maokai and also with the Rammus coming early, it just set us really far behind. And I just never like Maokai would jump on me, and immediately Akshan would swing into me. And as an ADC, I put my traps down, and I couldn't do anything as Jinx. So they got me twice, at least a couple times that way. But in terms of other picks, Benjj, do you want to add in?
Yeah, so we were the Maokai's a flex for this team, since Dorski is a Maokai main, so we weren't entirely sure what the bot lane was going to be looking like. So we opted to just say we don't really know how to play into the action. Let's grab a scaling bot lane. And as soon as we committed the scaling bot lane, we just grabbed the Nasus, try to get something that scales obviously similarly well, and Twisted Fate to provide some global pressure and back that up. So between the Lulu disengage, the volley engage, we felt like we had a really solid 1-3-1. But we just and while I do think we executed around the side lanes pretty well, I unfortunately just when it came to like Xianamore said, setting up around team fights, or specifically setting up around objectives, like we're just not quite to par yet. We'll get there.
Heck yeah.
Got it. And then same question for the coconut crabs, coming out of first game with a loss. Kind of, mental's a little bit weird. But this being the first week of games, first official match for everyone, for both teams. If you can just kind of talk through your picks and bans going into game two.
Yeah. Game two, we decided to save top lane just because now we weren't as confident in blinding it, but that's, you make mistakes, you learn lessons. And then, I guess in the break, like, in my opinion, like the team that can reset the cleanest, regardless whether you win or lose, is just going to come in with a big advantage. And so, like, I really gotta tip my hat to the mental of this team. Like, the Crabs are, like, still playing, joking, having fun, like, spamming chat and crap in between stuff just to, like, keep it light. And because we all really care. Like, this is a competitive group, but, like, we have the right mentality that we can take a couple of licks and keep fighting. So I'm super stoked we were able to bounce back that way. But execution-wise, like, in the huddle before the game, we were talking about what's our win condition, how do we win, and it was just like a death ball team fight option. So we wanted as many team fight looks as possible. and we're gonna show up for dragons as much as we can because we like I took TP to try to follow TF, but like ultimately I knew that I just wasn't going to be able to all the time. So we definitely got out rotated in the side lanes for sure. Yoplays did a great job at that, but whenever an objective came up, like Doc was on the spot. Like we had some really great flanks. We had some really great positioning out of Zanrick. Like, yeah, Nova was peeled well. Yeah, I don't know. Really great execution in team fights. That's kind of how we won it.
Awesome. Glad to hear that you guys are able to still continue to have fun as you're playing the game, because that's what this whole thing is all about.
Hell yeah, dude! That's why we're here.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, bro.
So some of you know this, but not everybody might. So Zanrick and I are married, and our computers are literally monitor to monitor, back to back, and just
Oh, yeah.
the whole
Pain in
game we're
the
just like
ass.
shouting at each
Kissing.
other.
That's what there's no, like I said, there's no substitute for face-to-face trash talk while you're getting the play. It's really just the best thing.
We had fun.
We love to hear, like,
li-
if I kill you, you have to wash tomorrow's dishes.
Yes.
Or just like hearing Carly through Zanrick's mic when I hit that 5-man.
Oh. Did that really happen?
Yeah. That made my day.
You're welcome.
If we can somehow get the voice from the teams, I don't know how we could do that, but that'd be interesting to hear.
There's a bot that does that. You
Yeah.
can get a Discord bot that can record comms from like
Oh,
a
really?
multiple channel. Yeah, and it can do multiple channels at once.
Okay,
Let's
well,
go.
we'll have to look into that.
I think
later.
you need to pay for it to do multiple channels at once, though, right? Or am I wrong?
I
I
could
don't
be
know.
wrong.
We'll
I could be
figure it
wrong. I didn't think you did, but I could be wrong.
We'll figure it out. Somebody will figure it out.
Alrighties then. So we doesn't look like we have any. I don't think that's like a real question, so I'm gonna skip that. But Whips, do you have any questions from game 2?
That game was just like everybody staying poised because that was a long one.
Very long.
Yeah, like that one felt like we could have like watched 4 games in the span that one went because there was just so much back and forth. Just between like the different objectives, the efficient top lane just pushing and coming out of Susan, kind of kept Yoplays in there like after like I mean what was that? Was that like 24 minutes Soul?
I think so.
It was, yes. Or,
Yeah, that
or
was just,
something
like,
like that.
Super quick. Yeah,
But I
it's
have to commend Yoplays for being able to handle, the coconut crabs having dragon soul. They have elder, they have bear, and yet you guys were still able to hold the door, maybe.
Yeah, basically.
Basically.
Yeah, I said on cast that like the thing I was most impressed with was even after like the second Baron from Crabs, after the second Elder from Crabs, Yoplays was still only down 2 kills. So they were at least keeping it clean and like playing it pretty smart, while just trying to like be on the back foot from those buffs, until we just got to the end scenario where I think almost all of you were level 18 and full build by the end, and we still had people on Yoplays leveling up.
Heck yeah. We were hanging in there, trying to chip away at some of those turrets until we just couldn't anymore.
Yeah, no, it was like these were both like I haven't done this before. These were both very entertaining games to watch, and everybody played well.
So,
Heck yeah. Thanks for casting. Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate
so
you.
I do have one
Thanks,
question
Wiz.
from the chat. They ask, this is for PlsKllM, the volley bear. Why don't you use volley bear alt on the towers? And I can go ahead and unmute him.
Hey, what's up?
Oh.
I'm bad at Volibear and jungling, and I don't know how champions work. So actually, sometimes, I do bear things with big bear paws, but that's hiding poor positioning and a lack of the ability to read, or a total inability to read. So, yeah, I'm pretty unhappy. With that second game, I had 3,000 gold multiple times. I just wasn't backing and not smiting jungle camps, and I never ulted a tower, so that's when I'd like to have back, but
Well, it's okay. I would say you did a fantastic job. Volley bear
Agreed.
is a very in your face, as you said, doing bear-like things. And part of the tournament is getting more familiarized with the champs that you play. So the more you know, now you know. And regardless, you did a good job. So don't be too hard on yourself.
I concur.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. I don't see any more questions in the chat. Webs, do you have any more?
Well, yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything. It was nice getting to talk with everybody.
Yes. All right. So
I like the forum style. We can just throw questions at whoever's sitting in here.
yes.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So as we like to do, I guess collaboration between Xianamore and Benjj. Who would you guys say is the MVP on coconut crabs? You can either do a combination of the whole 2 matches, or you can do by game.
Emminik, you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah. Game 1, I gotta hand it to PlsKllM. Like, that jungle pressure early caught us off guard. You were everywhere, winning in the neutral fights over scuttle crabs. Like, it was a really, really clean early game out of you, my guy. I know you wanted the second one back, but game 1, you were all over it. Game 2, though, SweetSmellofSucc, Nasus was like holding that door so hard for so long. Like straight up, 1v5ing us in, some weird jungle transition places, and like really, really well played out of the pair of them, games 1 and 2 respectively.
I would say, I think for their team, I would say probably Zanrick in both. But I think Dorski and emminik. I mean, you guys just did so much great damage and engage, and it was painful to be a part of. So well done on your part. And then for my team, I would also just commend Sweets for both games. Just incredible split pushing, and knew where he needed to be when he needed to be there. So well done.
Oh, I forgot to name an MVP for my team. For me this week, or for this game in both series, it's the Doctor. For me, had a bad situation in game 1, still held his own. I think he ended up positive, had a 600 gold bounty at some point, despite getting counterpicked and like some other
Let's go!
situational stuff. And then was huge in game 2. So, my guy, you're my MVP.
Thanks, Dad.
Go. Alrighties then, and the last final thing that I like to do is allow anyone in this chat. I'm going to go ahead and remove the server mute on the rest of the folks if you guys did want to talk. But if there's anything that you would like to say to your team, to the enemy team, or to the people watching, you're welcome to do that.
Yeah, that double volley gank top lane early in the second game really tested my mental, I'll be honest. My forehead was on my keyboard for a little bit.
I like summoner spells, and you were giving them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I gave 1 per, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was a
good.
good
I was
flash.
impressed. I was honestly impressed with Darius getting out of both of those.
He played it perfectly. Like I called the early wither. I figured out where if he had vision it was. We had the wither, we had a stun, and he just like flawlessly, narrowly escaped both times. That was honestly devastating.
Tanked it out. Yeah,
if we get an early kill on like a Nasus there, that door slammed even tighter for longer. So that's just flawless, summoner spell use.
Gave it my all.
100%.
Yeah. Got a freeze out of it though, so good battle in the top lane today, Suck. I had a lot of fun today. Even though my team might not have thought of I was having fun, I was having fun for sure.
I want to give props over to Dorski, my former teammate here. 1 for like the DDoS, and then like 2 for no, but seriously, like
Straight
like,
face.
Dorski like straight up is not a jungler. Got drafted. I don't know what happened, but they're like, "Hey, you're gonna be in jungle," and Dorski played out of his mind, especially game 2. Like, holy crap! Like you learned this role in like a month or less. Like you.
Oh yeah.
That was kind of cracked, dude.
He's raw as a toy for sure.
The first time I jungled was 3 weeks ago.
All right, thanks.
Absolutely,
My bad. It
absolutely
wasn't a month. It
crushing
was
it.
3 weeks. My bad.
Absolutely
Yeah.
crushing it. Let's go.
Kidding.
New best friends. New best friends.
Hey, let's go.
I thought you were jungling, Benj. I was terrified of that echo coming out.
Oh no, I don't jungle anymore. I hate jungle. Did you not see the game the other weekend? Nah, don't.
Alrighty, so then it is 11 p.m. So I know some people have some stuff to do because it is a Tuesday. last call. Any other comments that people would like to throw out there?
GG's. Great way to start the
GG's.
season.
Yep.
GG's, guys.
Everyone, absolutely. Strong way to start in the first week. Well, I guess this is the second game, but yeah, great games out of both of you.
Alrighty, so well, thank you guys very much for a wonderful match. Good luck for the rest of the season. Thank you, all the Wibs, for joining me
Of
last
course.
minute for casting. Would
Thank
love to
you,
keep
no
you
Hexy,
as a
for inviting
permanent.
me.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, I mean, you're in the Blueberry crew now, so you're more than welcome to join us in future games to cast, if you would like. We're looking for one more person tomorrow. And also, thank you for the people who are watching. With that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream, so everyone have a good rest of your night.
I think I need therapy or just some more whiskey. I can't seem to understand how you do this to me. You've been running in circles inside my head. Wasn't looking for love, but baby, I found you instead. I think I need to confess. Saw you in the red dress. I can't seem to understand how you got all that finesse. Still been running in circles inside my head. Wasn't looking for love, but baby, I found you instead.